I just looked, just saw the open tabs here, and right next to each other, I've got list of speeches at Davos 2025. Pretty normal. We'd expect something like that for this podcast. And then equally as normal, though, right next to it is...
Some would say even more normal.
How much protein does semen contain?
Not enough.
That's a teaser for possibly future conversation in this episode.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see how far we get in this fairly long outline here.
Yeah. You'd like to do that.
I don't know if I'd say I like to do it. I have to do it. It is my duty.
Your want to do that. It's your one true calling.
I'm but a conduit for larger forces.
Some of those that work forces are the same that post links.
I saw the Arms a Homeless guitar on something the other day after you'd brought it up, and it came flooding back to me as I remember that.
You did the Leo meme? Did you do the Leo point meme?
In my mind, probably.
Yeah.
And then I remembered also that only fun fact I know about Tom Morello is that he went to high school about 20 minutes away from where I went to high school. Oh. Probably about 20 years apart as well.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how old the man is, and I could never find out. I don't have the machinery.
There's no way to know.
To do so.
He's very secretive about that. He keeps it to himself.
Let's say we do this thing.
Fuck it. Why not? What else do you have to do on a Friday night? Saturday morning. / Saturday morning.
Exactly. But don't pod to me till I've had my 12 noon coffee. All right. Man, I've been ADHDing like crazy. I was like halfway through getting the clip for Cut Your Meat, and then I got distracted by something else. Too late. Next week. All right, let's go. Truly go.
Hell yeah.
How much protein does semen contain?
Not enough. Not enough. Not enough. Not enough. Not enough.
He walked out in the gray light and stood, and he saw for a brief moment the absolute truth of the world. The cold, relentless circling of the intestate earth. Darkness implacable. The blind dogs of the sun in their running. The crushing black vacuum of the universe. And somewhere 200 animals trembling like ground foxes in their cover. Borrowed time and borrowed world and borrowed eyes with which to sorrow it.
And lo, for the earth was empty of form, and void, and darkness was all over the face of the deep, and we said, look at that fucker dance.
Here we go. Welcome to Heat Death of the Universe, a podcast that...
I wish I could cheer you up, but I can't.
Because...
Men used to build cities just so we could burn them down.
It is 11, or 12 even, 23, Anti-Meridium, Korea Standard Time, Saturday, January 31st, year of our Lord 2026. At this very moment, your auditory cortex is working for the weekend to make sense of the complex noise and signal of me, Joshua How Am I Not Myself, Nomen Mutatio, and as always, blasting into all of our ears, eyes, and orifices otherwise, all the way to us from the dusty trails of Spawn Ranch, to the wind-carved bluffs of El Matador State Beach. His Tim Twitter handle not retrieved this week. Suddenly I realized.
Oh no!
Buckner.
This week was a good one. It's CBT Anderson. It was meant to be a play on PT Anderson.
Oh shit! Sorry. Well, CBT
cock
Anderson.
And ball torture.
Cock and ball torture. Buckner. What's up, Tim?
Yes, I am good. I'm happy to be on the only podcast that's willing to ask the question: should we even be doing this on the general strike day? How's it going, Josh? I guess for you it already passed. For me, I'm a scab.
You scabbed it up on Friday, the day of Melt All the Ice.
Yes.
As it should be called, I just realized as I said that.
I know.
They really ought to hire me over there. The marketing division over there at vaguely defined terrorist Antifa Incorporated Industries.
The Antifa Super Soldiers Incorporated.
Unlimited. Yes. Yeah, I mean, I guess technically I took place in the strike on Friday.
Nice.
I don't think I bought anything. Well, you know what? Just living in South Korea, I'm kind of scabbing it up already.
That's true.
To some degree. Arguably less so than other citizens, I guess. Who knows?
I didn't engage in any commerce personally, but I unfortunately couldn't not go to my job. I feel like there should be a bit of a carve out for the thing for like stuff like what me and my wife do. My wife works for a nonprofit that helps like homeless and drug addicted people primarily, and I work for a hospital. And unfortunately, like right now, my hospital is in the middle of a work stoppage from one union, and we're pending a second work stoppage from my union coming up. So the idea that like you call out right now is they're really like paying attention. So unfortunately, I'm kind of on the edge of being like, oh, I'm gonna take the day off for this thing, which the fun thing about it, being someone who's like follows the like, you know, beer scene, being a beer nerd type of person. I don't know how much I really even talk about that or how much you even know about that, Josh, particularly, but like I'm a big beer guy. So many craft breweries being like, in these trying times, we stand with the community. And although we will still be open because we need money, we are donating this percentage of the proceeds from this one beer, this one day, to this thing that's probably not really helping that much because, you know, the community, after you're done protesting and standing up against the man, come in here and forge community together as you know, do recreational alcoholism. You know, it's pretty good. Pretty good stuff. Yeah, I fucking hate to see it, and it, like, especially from breweries that I like and people that I like, you know, I know personally, and I'm like, I know that they're good people, this and that, but it's just like, again, capitalism, I guess, comes for us all or whatever.
I saw something kind of similar to that it's one of those classic things that we see constantly every day, every second of the day to some degree. This could easily be fake. It could easily be real, is what I'm trying to say. Did you see this in the Discord? I posted in the Discord. It was like this very colorful looking like poster. I'll just read it. So there's like written, I'll describe it for you all. Could be fake, totally could be fake. But this speaks to what you were just saying. Just another example. Two rainbows with hearts around them, and just the art itself looks sort of AI. That's why I'm suspicious that this is just like parody, possibly. But it was posted on the Truenon subreddit, seemingly as if it were a real thing. Anyway, it says Vendetta, which I guess is the company name. and then it says, we'll be open regular hours during the nationwide strike Friday, January 30th. As a small business, we are committed to our community and staff and want to provide a safe space on this monumental day. Now, keep in mind, this is all in like all rainbow colors. There's hearts. There's like 50 hearts just floating around this thing. So it just looks very like jaunty and upbeat and like, come on, guys, let's have a nice tall glass of friendship or whatever.
Yeah, I liked the regular standard blue ice cube for ice, and then the like clearly weird orangey ice cube for Trump. Like, oh yes, of course, we all know as he's depicted as a melting orange ice cube. That's Donna Trump.
Well, and also that the opposition to ice is also just a cleaner ice cube that's also melting.
Yeah, right.
What is the symbolism supposed to be there? But there's one more, even maybe more egregious bit. So yeah, blah, 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 committed to our community and staff and want to provide a safe space on this monumental day. Come enjoy a drink post-protest. Enjoy a hot meal with like-minded people. Or enjoy a cold pint in silence while reflecting on the times.
Yeah.
Which I thought was just an interesting little twist there.
Right.
A desperate twist. It's like, don't even like people? Come stand alone in stony... terrifying silence by yourself as you get drunker and drunker alone. We'll take anybody. We need money. So that, I mean, and that's the other thing too, is like, if this is real, which again, it may not be, it could just be a little tongue-in-cheek Twitter humor or something, but it does reflect a real sentiment as well, which is like, but it becomes difficult because it's like, it is fucking hard to take off even one day of work or even half a day of work for like,
right.
I would say the majority of the planet, possibly, and Americans as well. But
right.
Anyway, we did slightly jump the gun, and I did notice a bunch of times people like, maybe it's just the fact that we're so gun saturated or whatever. So many of our sayings and idioms have to do with violence and guns. But I noticed in a lot of the coverage of all this hell going down, people, I think not on purpose, but just like I did right there, accidentally using gun imagery when talking about shooting, whatever. It's a notable thing. That's all.
Sure.
But yes.
Speaking of guns, have you heard any interesting stories about guns recently? Not me. But everything's been pretty standard when it comes to guns and stuff.
I mean, I know we did just start
parts.
Kind of getting into like the bigger news of the day, but as we often do, we like to ease in with a few lighthearted items up top.
That's true.
So let's, as we always say here, try to speed through those. We'll see how successful we are at speeding. Well, this one I put first just because it made me laugh out loud when I saw it. It's the headline that is, Kanye West said sorry. Does he mean it this time? It just, after 100 times.
This has got to be it.
It's gone from being funny to not funny to like slightly funny again, back and forth, to now just like, I don't know. It just hit me as like an all-time absurdity to see that headline the other day. But it's like, I don't know how long has this same cycle been going on with this guy, and the coverage of it is the same every time. I don't know. It struck me as like extreme flat circleness, eternal recurrenceness.
Right.
To see that headline, and just thinking, is the Variety editor or whoever came up with this title having a little fun? I'm sure they are. They have to be, right? I need to believe that that's what it is. But the idea that someone is like earnestly, like urgently looking for the answer, does he really mean it this time? Anyway, that was a headline. And another headline that is only similar, I guess, only related in the sense that this is like a new musician, maybe slight weirdo. Nicki Minaj was in the news this week. I think you showed me something. What was that? What was that thing you sent in the Discord?
Remember.
I don't know either.
Oh, you know what it was? It was the person who like made the AI art. But I think that's a gimmick account anyways. But it's just very funny. Because even if, even though it is a gimmick account, it's like, it's still kind of what I was, or it still absolutely is what I was saying, was just like that she's getting memed on by, the epic anti-Trump trolls, because that's what's going to happen when you turn into this grift. But she posted some weird, like, not like Trump gold card thing.
Right.
And then the person made this like shitty Archer style like AI art that's like just terrible. And yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, it looks like, in Archer style, Nicki Minaj looking hot, I guess, holding a Tommy gun. I don't even understand what's going on, like the meaning of this. What am I missing here? It's MAGA. It's like a 1940s detective wearing a fedora, but it's like a MAGA fedora, holding a gun to a robber on the ground, labeled fake news. So Nicki Minaj and MAGA are killing fake news. Got it.
They're
I just pieced it all together.
It's pretty simple, man.
Well, to be fair, when I saw it, I glanced at it. I noted the Archer art style,
right,
and then it immediately reminded me of the Onion article, which was Trump asking Nicki Minaj what eating ass is all about, or something, whatever that was.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Onion still got it. I like to remind people sometimes the Onion
never lost it, really. I get that it's kind of chuggy to like care about it, but it's never been. Yeah, there's never been a time when Onion wasn't good.
I totally forgot what I was looking for. This keeps happening. Oh yeah, gold card. Yes, the gold card thing.
There we go.
So you pay $1 million to get a so-called Trump gold card visa, as in citizenship.
Sure.
Maybe, I don't even know. But basically, Nicki Minaj has like over the years apparently been openly saying that she's not an American citizen. Right? Is that what I read? Who gives a shit? She was born in Trinidad and Tobago, and basically this is all just a lead into like her talking about. She said something about like, oh, like I'm from the beautiful land of Trinidad and Tobago, which is why I'm like, welp, guess I got to pay $1 million for that that fast-tracked citizenship gold card.
Yeah,
just to cover my ass. But the whole thing was stupid and grotesque and absurd and chuckle-worthy. Also leading to a similar thing, Heil Hitlergate. What was that all about?
Oh.
Did you catch wind of any of that?
Not really.
It was just an amazing collection of notorious internet assholes all together in a nightclub.
Oh, yes. I think I know what you're talking about now.
It was Nick Fuentes, Sneeko, Clavicular, who we talked about the previous episode.
Sure, yeah.
Andrew Tate, Myron Gaines, better known as Fresh and or Fit from Fresh and Fit. And they're all just trying to show what a great time they were having in Miami Beach. I don't know. They posted a bunch of videos of themselves just looking like typical Miami Beach douchebags wandering around the city, whatever. I didn't really watch much of this. This is a lot of secondhand information, but I did see the video clip of them dancing to aforementioned Kanye West's hit song "Heil Hitler," and you could see Fuentes not dancing, looking very awkward, and you could see Andrew Tate. You could just see the wheels spinning in his mind, trying to like, how do I play this?
Yeah. Right.
You know, there's so much stupid news in the week.
That's true.
But yeah, I guess speaking of hashtags, hashtag Heil Hitler gate, there was another hashtag gate this week. Yeah, the old hashtag plus gate equals cha-ching, cha-ching, ad revenue money. Hello, penis hardening medical tech money. Hello,
yeah.
refrigerator box money. Refrigerator box with a mattress in it money. Yes, it was bidet gate. Just kind of bidet gate. All right, yeah.
But yeah,
Sounds kinda hard to
feels
say.
like really pushing it. Yeah. I don't know about that one.
For the crime of, I guess, supposedly replacing or maybe even just modifying the shitters in the governor's mansion to have bidets, some chuds were getting angry at Mom Donnie. And that's the only reason they're mad at him, by the way. There are no other reasons.
Right. Yeah, that's the big issue.
I was going to say it's really scraping the bottom of the barrel, more like the bottom of the bowl. The outrage toilet bowl, as it were. And, I mean, this was probably from a couple weeks ago, but until now, RF on protein. So,
Yeah, finally. Thank God.
leave it to RFK, I guess, to find something somehow funnier / dumber than the war on Christmas, maybe. Yeah, definitely is. There is far more evidence for the war on Christmas than there is for the war on protein. And my favorite thing probably about this Wired.com article is the part right up top where RFK's face is transposed upon some sort of steak. And he's looking real dumb.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, there is no war on protein. That's the whole point. But the Maha movement was briefly there for a moment, pushing this idea that they were going to free up Americans to no longer have to abide by the 20 grams of protein per week starvation allotment we've all been on.
Yeah, that we're legally allowed to have.
Do you even really need scientific studies to prove that there's a war on protein? Just walk out into any American city and take a look at the people walking by.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's, rippling with muscle, so of course they've got...
I mean, I suppose you could eschew all protein and still be very unhealthy, sure.
True.
Oh yeah, and so this was just the whole thing with the fucking inverting the food pyramid.
Right.
So fucking dumb. I will say one thing I'm grateful about though when it comes to RFK related news, at least on my end, I've barely been seeing and even more important, barely been hearing the man speak these days. So count your blessings.
Yeah, that's a plus.
When I was thinking of the war on protein, though, I was also just picturing like a crazed RFK, like I don't know, like waving around like plant-based proteins, though, to just like really confuse Maha Nation. He just pours like a big like cooler of raw split peas over his head, like in the way that sports people pour Gatorade on each other.
Exactly. Yeah, I was gonna say that the kind of gold standard for most of like the premium proteins now is like pea protein.
I'm all about that split pea life these days. By the way, it's
that's true.
Real good source of protein and fiber. Not as good as jizz though. That's why I did look up the jizz statistics.
Oh yeah.
That would also be that's really where I should have gone with the vision. The vision of celebrating is pouring Gatorade jugs full of semen on each other in triumph over the war on protein.
Right.
But I never did quite figure out, well, let's look. We'll even debase ourselves and look at the Gemini overview, because that's about as far as I got on my Google search. Let's see. 5,040 milligrams. Oh, let's just say 5 grams of protein per 100 milliliters. Yeah. A typical ejaculation volume is 1.5
that seems reasonable.
to 5 milliliters. Oh boy. Should we try to actually do the math on this? I think I could do it. I know I could.
Sure, why not?
I'm wondering if I could do it quickly enough to not waste all of our time further. Well, I could do it in my mind, just rounding down here.
Riveting stuff right now. Are you doing the math?
I got over math.
You figuring it out?
And I just realized even the faster way, perhaps the less accurate way, is to just continue asking stupid Gemini. To get your daily recommended protein allotment, the average adult would need between 184 to 374 ejaculations in a single day. And you'd need to be, I was going to say you'd need to be able to self-suck, but that's not true. I mean, that's if you want it straight from the tap, of course, but...
No. Right. And, I mean, no, you're not going to be able to do that. You're not going to be able to, do 100 and something ejaculations yourself.
Are you sure?
Right. You're going to have to... You're going to have to outsource some of that.
Your intuition feels way off.
At least
to me.
some. I don't know, man. I mean, even at my max, I think I could maybe do like 10. I don't know about 174 or whatever.
Unfortunately, one of the first places my mind goes when I think of number of ejaculations per day is Jeffrey Epstein, because he somewhat infamously, famously, supposedly needed, emphasis on needed, it's a biological need for him to ejaculate minimum 3 times a day. So maybe he was just trying to work on alternate protein sources for the developing world. I'm sure that's all
when
of this.
When it comes down to it, that's the most important thing. Is serving underprivileged children his semen? Is that what he was doing? That makes sense.
All right, what were we talking about?
I don't know.
Jizz? Yeah. Well, speaking of the war on semen, protein, war on Venezuela, there was a pretty funny passage that I saw on Twitter from CNN. And I'll just read. I never know how to pronounce this guy's name, but he's a very good follow on Twitter. He's a journalist for good independent far left outlet Mint Press. His name's Alan MacLeod, I want to say.
MacLeod.
I don't know. You'd think MacLeod. Let's just say MacLeod. No disrespect, but I don't know how you pronounce your Leod part of your name. But anyway, he writes, "This is one of the most extraordinary and illuminating passages in all journalism. CNN frames Maduro as a paranoid liar for claiming the CNN is trying to overthrow him. Yet the very next sentence, it casually notes that the CIA did, in fact, overthrow him. The level of cognitive dissonance and imperial brain rot you must have to write this, and then have it read by an editor and published, is truly breathtaking." And the CNN little slice of wisdom goes like this. "For years, Maduro cast the CIA as a convenient boogeyman, repeatedly accusing the agency, without evidence, of attempting," they emphasize this too, "without evidence, of attempting to topple his regime as he clung to power despite U.S. opposition. Now, the CIA has helped supplant Maduro and is poised to help actively manage the Trump administration's dealings with Venezuela's new leadership." You know, there's gaslighting and then there's gaslighting.
Right.
Funny stuff. I mean, I don't even know, like one of like many pieces of evidence of this is that the Trump administration openly talked about their failed Bay of Piglets mission in 2019.
Right. Yeah, it's no secret.
Like they crashed land. They tried to they weaponized a drone and flew it directly at him outdoors at a speech he was giving. It's I mean, I don't believe. I mean, the records will come out later, just like they did with Castro. But you know, it's like the famous thing with Castro and the CIA. They tried to assassinate him like 160 times or some shit, in like all the most insane ways you could imagine. Like, poisoning his like wetsuit. What were this? There were some even funnier ones, but I'm forgetting them in the heat of the moment right now. But. Also, circling back to RFK, you know, there's something I've always wanted to say about him.
I don't like the guy.
I agree.
Now that we've got that out of the way. Oh, and okay, this final thing in the old amuse-bouche. Amuse-bouche.
Yeah.
Claire Boucher, a.k.a. Grimes. This is something that came out like 2 months ago, but I just had to mention it because it was just so wild to me. We didn't talk about it. I don't know if you remember this happening. Brian Walsh's grisly alleged web searches revealed at murder trial, quote, "how to saw a body." So basically this guy like almost certainly murdered his wife. And like, even if you were only basing things on his web searches, you could say that probably too. But that, along with the fact that she's disappeared and so on and so forth, and all the other evidence. But like, they're calling like they're saying Maduro is paranoid. Like, someone here could have really done with a smidge more paranoia, I would say, in their web searching, in their murdering, in all of their murdering business. But yeah, some of the searches were, best ways to dispose of a body.
Right.
That was days before his wife went missing. He searched that. Then subsequent searches after she went missing. How long before body starts to smell? Can identification be made on partial human remains? How to saw a body, among others. Can I use bleach to clean my wood floors from blood stains?
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Can police this is maybe the funniest one. It's funny as things related to horrifying murder can be, I guess. Can police get your search history without your computer? And
pretty good.
Can the FBI tell when you accessed your phone?
Huh.
He also so this was all from an officer's testimony, obviously, about this. But the officer testified that the webpage, quote, 6 ways to dispose of a body, hosted on a site called murdermurdermurder.com, was also accessed by Brian's device on January 1st. It goes on, but you get the idea.
Right.
Obviously, this is a public service announcement to all the murderers out there. Stay safe. Be vigilant.
Stay safe. Stay sane. Yeah.
Don't forget to spay and neuter your pets. You know what? I'm not going to sideline us and look up why did Bob Barker always end.
Oh, it's just because that was like he supported that. That's the only reason why. There isn't anything more than that. He supported like animal, like ASPCA and like, yeah.
Yeah. I guess. I mean, I got that enough. I just wondered if there was like some, I don't know, how committed he was personally or whatever.
Like, did he go out there and spay and neuter pets in his free time?
Yeah, immediately he signs off, rushes out of the studio with his surgical bag,
right,
and hits the streets.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the case.
Yeah, and he does that because, well, frankly,
because life is precious, and God and the Bible.
That's right.
All right.
He'd go out there and he looks at those animals and he says, "Cut your meat." Yeah.
God damn it. Oh, the perfect place for that one.
Yeah.
The perfect place.
He'd go out there and he looks at those animals and he says,
"Cut your meat."
Well, the Board of Peace.
How could we not?
What's up with this Board of Peace? I know some people, I mean, I'm looking at my notes here, which also says BORED of peace, question mark.
Sure, yeah. I like
and
that.
also BORED of peace, as in like a piece of pussy.
Right.
First one, I believe other podcasts have already landed upon as titles for their episodes.
Sure. I'm personally bored of peace. Yeah.
Yeah, no one's gotten to the board of a piece of ace
right.
interpretation.
Of course. Why would they? Because they're all cowards and losers and they're afraid of winning. But that's not how we do it here on this podcast.
I mean, what is this? It's Trump trying to take over the world, I guess you could say, in a way, in a roundabout way, actually in a pretty straightforward way. It seems he is just trying to replace the United Nations with his own even more openly corrupt version of the United Nations, is the long and short of it. To join the Board of Peace... Now here, I did actually kind of get something wrong in my mind, at least, or I think I may have. I thought the price of entry to the Board of Peace was $1 billion per individual. But, I just wasn't being gracious and generous enough to Trump's plan, because I think what it actually is per country, $1 billion, which goes directly to Trump. Donald Trump, the individual man.
Which is a hell of a discount when you do think about that other thing that you said, So that's a major art of the deal type situation that he's already created.
Wait, how do you mean? Oh, starting. Oh, yes. Starting with the we're going to nuke the entire world.
And then you
no. We were kidding, and then we start, gradually lowering the stakes until it's only slightly apocalyptic.
Right. I do like. Yeah, he's like, it's the Donald Trump UN only for friends of the Dawn. I like that. It's pretty cool.
The whole thing also began, perversely, of course, as all things with these people, as this was going to be narrowly focused on Gaza, somebody went and wrecked that place. So Donald Trump took it upon himself to create a group of people that have to pay him billions of dollars, literally billions of dollars, to be part of a club, the club.
Go back to the club.
And after all is said and done, at least so far, not a single Palestinian. Like, you'd think they'd at least get some of the corrupt Palestinian Authority people on board, just as a token, whatever. Here, look at the surface level. We are giving at least one Palestinian, one Gazan, some ostensible say in any of what's going to happen there. But no, but then again, you wouldn't think that because we're living in the age and the admin of casting aside all pleasantries or whatever, softening the blow of all the evil the way that previous admins have done. It's the way it is. It's the quiet out loud times. So, but related to the Board of Peace, related to the existence of this ridiculous thing, which again, so many things, seems to be motivated by Trump being mad that he didn't get the Nobel Prize, Peace Prize, even though he did technically get one from someone else. He took another person's. Yeah,
he was given one. That's the same. He was given a Nobel Peace Prize by, someone who earned one, so that feels fair. It's I've always said that the Nobel Peace Prize is like a germs burn. You have to get it from someone who has it, and then it's official.
I bet a lot of it too it's got to be driven by I think I bring this up, and this is the thing I've noticed I probably repeat a lot on the podcast, but how the true sort of seed origin of Trump running for president initially was Obama mocking him, and then Obama getting the Nobel Peace Prize even more absurdly maybe,
right?
Because he hadn't even done anything yet.
Right.
I think that was the basic timeline of it.
The way that I heard this explained relatively recently, and I'm oh yeah, that checks out, was that they gave Obama the Nobel Peace Prize as encouragement to do peace. They were we're giving him the Nobel Peace Prize for all of the future work that he's going to do bringing peace to the Middle East, because everyone was begging for that post, Bush, and Obama was coming in on the wave of all that. He's doing hopey changey, and they're of course Obama is going to fix all that stuff and he's going to bring peace to the Middle East. And then obviously we had to wait until Jared Kushner got in there to finally, fix all the problems there by selling, 666 Wall Street or whatever the fuck that tower was that he sold to the Saudis. The Saudis. What I always say is Saudis nuts. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. Anyways, continuing on.
All right. Anyway, where were we? Who cares? I cares. Marcus Carney. Peace. Oh, yeah. Jealousy of Obama. And he's recently he's trying to arrest Obama, as we speak. Isn't that what's going on right now? Do you know? I barely caught wind of something. I forget what even the reason is now. Oh, yes. He's accusing Trump of treason. This is just, he's done this to a million people. So who cares? Whatever. But it does go to the fact that I feel like a lot of what drives him is, it's more than possibly more than I would have thought before, specifically tied to sort of jealousy or whatever, competitiveness with Obama. See, I could have got that one if I didn't have to scroll down for 45 minutes.
Damn it. 45 minutes of scrolling.
Yep.
I've been there, though, We've all been there. That's what they call it in the endless thread.
There were several things, and I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, that were funny as hell about Trump lashing out at Obama recently. Obama.
I was ready to jump in when you just said there's like things that you were trying to remember that are funny about Trump, and I was like, he's got little hands. He's orange. Fuck. Okay.
His little hands are too small to grab those pussies.
Yeah,
that's the
true.
problem with him doing that.
He's gay. He's gay. He's gay. He's actually gay.
He posted something that was like justifying his attack on Venezuela, which killed 80, I believe, to possibly 100 people. I mean, they just like carpet bombed Caracas, abducted the head of state and his wife. And he basically said, well, Obama did shit like this too. So what's the problem? And who can really come back at them about that? And the thing is, though, actually, the answer to what I meant to be a rhetorical question, there is a dumb answer dumb libs would give. Which would be something along the lines of, well, procedures and, being cordial and etc. I just thought that was funny how, like, just so openly, it's like similar to when he was saying, when things go bad in the economy, that's the Biden economy. When things go bad in the economy, that's the Trump economy. Similar kind of thing. And something else I can't remember. Whatever. Obama jealousy section complete. But also connected to the Board of Peace is this sickening thing that Jared Kushner's been doing, which I mentioned in passing before. I was trying to find like the whole PPT. I believe it's like 28 slides. I can't seem to find like the full leaked thing of it. But Dropsite News, shout out, always doing very good work. Maybe one of the best to do it these days. They put out like a long thread on Twitter, which had a lot of the screen grabs, just maybe not every single one. And it's complete with maps of Gaza that it just dawned on me now, like right this second, that maybe there's somehow nefarious reason for the fact that they turn Gaza, like, instead of being like north is at the top, like north is off to the left, or to the right rather. So it just, what I'm saying is like, it almost like doesn't even look like the outline of the place we think of as Gaza, like people who know who would recognize that outline. But anyway, that just occurred to me now. But they've got it laid out, and it's essentially a slave colony, like just by the looks of the little color-coded map they've laid out here. Yellow areas are called residential areas, which I think would be better called slave quarters, because that's how this is all going to be panning out. It's just going to be a giant panopticon. I mean, actually, all the reporting on this, the thing I kept noticing about it is like, oh, they're just describing essentially what Gaza was pre-2005, and then basically always has been as well. Like, it's always been one of the most surveilled places on the planet. So, like, that aspect is nothing new. I guess what's new is that basically they're just trying to, like, let private equity take over the whole thing. And I don't know. It's almost hard to react to shit like this. It's just incredibly gross. And the fact that he actually, like, I heard, like, oh, it's Jared Kushner's master plan. And I thought, like, oh, that's like the commentator, like, having some liberty there. But no, he's actually calling it that. And he called it that at the World Economic Forum, or whatever it was, Davos. Let's just say Davos. They all went to Switzerland. All the demons gathered in Switzerland, and he gave his speech there, which he's been giving to other, elite rooms or whatever. invest in our mass grave today is essentially what he said for 10 minutes. And I don't like that one bit. The big news everyone seemed to be focusing on the most, it seemed like, aside from Trump's deranged speech at Davos, was Prime Minister of Canada, Mark's communist carney, his, as I've written here, Rad Libs Assemble speech, which I also found very gross in its own way, because a lot of people are praising it as very brave. And I mean, essentially what he did is he got up there and said, like, the age of American empire is coming to a close, and hey, China, what's up? What you doing? Because also he recently went to China, established some whatever trade deal promises or whatever, which also pissed off Trump, of course, naturally. The speech itself pissed off Trump. So when Trump gave his speech, he basically said, I believe the exact quote was, Canada lives because we allow it to. Like the it'd be a shame if something happened to you or to your loved ones style mafioso speech or speaking amongst friendly fascists around the world these days just seems to be getting more heightened every week.
Right.
Oh yeah, Trump's the only thing that can stop me is my own mind deal from a little while back. That just fucking chilled my guts.
It's pretty good.
It chilled beyond the spine, straight to the asshole. Yeah, only what was it? Only my own morality can constrain me, or something. When you hear that come out of the mouth of a man like Trump, it's a bit unnerving. But no, but the Marx Carney speech is just it's so too little, too late. It's so obviously just self-preservation. It has nothing to do with any real ideology, I guess, obviously. But I mean, the only reason stuff like that even continues to bother me and make me sound shocked when I just sound pissed off. I'm not surprised, I guess, but is that there are a number of people out there who, like I said, are applauding this kind of neoliberalism still, and it sucks. It's what led us to where we are. What don't people understand about that? There's no going back to the normal you want. And then I guess just on the subject of oh wait, what is this? Oh right, Trump's speech also, he referred to being given Greenland, the landmass that is Greenland, as a small ask.
Yeah. It's not, it's not a big deal.
It's a small ask. And the reactions to people at this event too were just kind of not having it with Trump and really loving Marx, the neo-lib banker / insane communist, depending on who you ask.
Right.
Mark's Carney.
Mark's
Carney's speech.
I was trying to think of the perfect the way to make the joke about the guy's name, because he's Mark Carney, and in wrestling a mark is someone who falls for it, right? It's a circus thing, and then Carney is a carnival worker who tricks you, and he's the perfect synthesis of both sides. He's the Mark and the Carney in one, but I just couldn't figure out the way to make the post, but yeah, it's,
you're onto
something
there, for sure.
There's something there,
I mean, I fully get it in my mind.
Right.
I'll work on explaining it with my mouth after I come back from a quick water holing break. Water holing?
A water closet break.
Consciousness is a terrible curse, but today is a gift.
I'm doing my part.
I'll send you love letters.
Straight from my heart, fucker.
200%.
Do you know what a love letter is?
400%, 500%,
It's a bullet from a
600%.
fucking guy in the
And this whole board of peace, goal of Trump's, it also seems like it's going to destroy NATO, or I mean, it could,
Right.
if Trump doesn't completely incompetently try to carry this shit out. To which I would say good riddance.
Sure.
I'm sure longtime listeners will understand that I'm not a fan of NATO. But I did have to do a little lesser of two evils thought process when I was thinking about this. Like, get rid of NATO, ... but at what cost?
Right.
Yeah, like my sort of my working estimation lately is that let's say 70% of people who live in America are probably not cultists,
Sure.
not completely irredeemable. So I feel bad for them, and I guess I'd like to include myself in that 70%. But yeah, at the cost of Trump destroying everything domestically and just covering the nation in imperial boomerangs. I don't know if it's quite worth it, but we'll see. Oh, there's a bunch of censorship too that was kind of interesting that we don't have to spend much time considering, but TikTok. Interesting timing. Okay, new ownership of TikTok. One of the Ellison demons, father or son. You know what? I don't differentiate them. They're they're like Ron Silver at the end of Time Cop, or was it Alien Creature in Bill and Ted, one of the Bill and Ted movies? Station?
Yeah.
I want to say Station.
Yeah. It was a demon, I think.
Yes, the demon of Bill and Ted's excellent something adventure to hell.
Yeah.
The Ellisons are they're melted together, is what I'm trying to say. Father and son. They're locked in an eternal 69 where they feed off of each other's 200 to 300 ejaculations per day to sustain life. Also, just the subject of the Ellisons reminded me of this funny thing. I think we talked about at the beginning of Trump 2.0, if I remember correctly, when all this stuff was kicking off. It was the deal. It was something like Trump is going to give I don't know, fucking $500 billion or some shit to Oracle, Larry Ellison's AI company or whatever the fuck it is. And anyway, it was just a quick interview clip with Ellison though, and he was talking about how all this theoretical, unspoken theoretical, all this technology we definitely have right now, it's going to be able to customize, create a customized nanobot cancer-eating system. So he's like, it's going to cure cancer, but then he also, just to try to sound impressive, he's like, we have the world's biggest computer.
Yeah, right. Ugh.
We're going to build the world's biggest computer with this money. And that just being a ridiculous, funny thing to say. But yes, the Ellisons, they own CBS and Bari Owari by extension. But now they own TikTok. And literally the day after the full acquisition or whatever of the company went through, and the Ellisons are like now in charge of things that could affect censorship and algorithms and whatnot. What was it exactly?
Yeah.
It was like trying to push. Oh, fuck! What was it? It was trying to push the phrase upon people. So this is like not even censorship. This is like reverse censorship or something. Propaganda, you could call it.
Sure.
But it was like trying to push. Oh, okay. Here's what it was. It was searches, just searches in general across the board, across the internet for reasons to love Israel.
Oh, God damn it.
Went up like some huge percentage that I don't have the number on hand, and then people were trying to like, or not just people, not just the amorphous people are saying, but TikTok itself said that there was like a power outage in one of their data centers, which I don't know how that leads to like targeted targeted censorship, like very clearly targeted. One of the other things was in DMs on TikTok, people couldn't even send the word Epstein. It would just like glitch out and like
that makes sense.
Yeah. And then of course there was a bunch of I don't know, at least let's be fair here. Let's be like a real news organization and say alleged censorship against anti-ICE, anti-MAGA, anti-Trump, anti-Israel sentiments. But the thing is, though, too, on that whole subject, though, like this whole narrative of like TikTok is actually trying to radicalize everyone, and they censor pro-Israel stuff, in fact, and like I think all of that was bullshit too. Like they were still censoring pro-Palestinian voices and whatnot before the change in ownership. But I just thought it was hilarious, this this huge upshoot in Google searches of the exact phrase "reasons to love Israel."
So good.
But then doesn't that also imply that there are a bunch of people who hate Israel who are somehow trying to find reasons not to?
Yeah, exactly.
The whole thing seems a little ill-conceived, and also I could kind of see this equally being maybe exaggerated, but who cares? There is like undeniably proven censorship of these things on various platforms, including TikTok. Do you know that Palestinian journalist? She's pretty young. You must have seen her before. I think her name is Bisan.
Yeah.
And I can't think of her last name. You know who I'm talking about, though?
Yes, I do.
She also had her TikTok account just deleted, like the day after, the ownership of TikTok changed hands. Trump, of course, bringing up Greenland again, blah, blah, blah. We're going to take the stuff for dumb reasons. I don't need to get too much into that. But the funniest detail about all of this week's version of that shit was Trump writing a letter. There might be a legitimate reason for this, but I haven't looked it up or figured it out or been able to piece it together with my own brain. But he wrote a letter to the, Prime Minister or President of Norway. Actually, the first line of this Substack. Remember the time during the election campaign when Donald Trump got bored of his rally, turned on his playlist, and started dancing? Just a funny one to remember. It reminded me of this thing that I don't know if I'll ever be able to track it down again, but there was a clip of him on, I think, in 2024 at a rally, And he started just like, I don't even know what the subject was he was talking about, but it was just one of his like typical things that he repeats over and over, talking points. Like, I don't know. Let's just say it was Venezuela. We're going to get Venezuela's oil, folk.
Right.
We're going to get Venezuela's oil, folks.
Nice.
Or maybe we won't. Who knows? Like he did one of those things where he sounds so passionate, and then within the same breath, he just kind of mumbles off the side of his mouth, like, or maybe I won't. Who cares? Who knows? He's just saying to the crowd, like, what do you want to hear? I'm too bored and tired to try to figure it out. I'll say both things and then hedge my bets.
Classic drama rants. For fans of the Guys podcast, they like to, play videos from drama rants, and he does that where he's all fired up and he's ranting and he's like, and then they do this thing, and then he instantly backtracks and contradicts himself. That's basically Trump. That's Trump at this point. And and I heard someone say he sounds so old in a way that you can just hear. It's not a death rattle, but it is that old convalescent voice. And I was like, that can't be true. And then I listened and I was like, no, it is. He there's if you've ever had a really old, whatever relative or just person in your life that you've interacted with, you can just hear it as you're just oh yeah, you're you hit a certain spot where your voice starts to change based on just being so geriatric, and Trump is hitting it hard. It's crazy.
I mean, he's fucking 80 years old. He probably should. Yeah.
Oh, he probably shouldn't be president? Shit. Are you kidding me? Yeah.
I don't know. He should have really been sounding like this 10 years ago, probably. But I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. I mean, considering his lifestyle, of course there can be very, very healthy 80-year-olds or whatever. But yeah. So this dumb letter. Here's the very beginning of it. Yes, Prime Minister of Norway and the White House National Security Council distributed the text of the letter to foreign ambassadors in Washington. The Norwegians have confirmed that it is real. Dear Jonas, considering your country decided not to give me the Nobel Peace Prize for... Oh, that's why he's writing Norway. Okay, got it. This is all your fault. Decided not to give you the Nobel Peace Prize for having stopped 8 wars. Plus... I love this list of wars thing. It just never really gets old because...
Well, and it falls into the thing that we... Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
So it falls into the thing
I was just going to say it's the opposite of true.
It falls into the thing that we said on a couple episodes ago, if maybe they're out or not. I don't remember at this point. That, you can't stop a war that doesn't exist. So he had to start some of those wars so that he could end them, right? But 8+, that's a lot. That's a lot of wars that he ended. Again, how many of them were wars that he started to begin with? But, and Norway, it's Norway's fault, even though they don't have any bearing on the Nobel Peace Prize. It's a separate entity. The government doesn't award the prize, but, it's kind of their fault. They should have made them, That's the thing about Trump. Trump, he exists in this weird place where he thinks that, every government should be, an authoritarian government where the president / prime minister / whatever tells everybody what to do. But even he knows that that's not true here, where he's president. It's very odd.
Yeah, I was thinking that he just assumed all these umlaut European types, the Scandinavians, the ones with the dots over their letters, they're all the same. So he can just write to one of them and they'll inform the whole network, the whole Voltron of the Scandinavian Voltron. Wait, is Voltron the thing that is made up of a bunch of other things?
Yes.
I never watched whatever. Okay, good.
It's 4 or 5 robot. It's 4 or 5 sexy robot cats that turn into one giant robot man.
Are they cats, really?
Yeah, they're cat.
Thundercats.
They might be lions or tigers or something, but they're robotic cats, and they form together into
they're
a big
robotic.
Dude. Yeah. Yeah, it's
I mean, obviously they are. But as soon as you said cats, I was picturing biological creatures just somehow like horribly fusing their bodies together in a painful way to become this.
no, that's a different art. That R.I.P. Scott Henson, but that's the kind of thing that he would have been asking people to draw for him on DeviantArt. It's different. It's not the same thing.
That's what I'm doing later tonight. Wait, Scott Henson? Did you say who's that?
Yeah, he was a friend of mine who was like a wrestler, who was a furry wrestler who passed away a couple of years ago. Yeah,
I got really thrown off for a second. I thought you misspoke about Scott Adams.
No, I mean I guess
like,
R.I.P. to him too, but a different kind of R.I.P. Yeah.
Yeah. Hugely different, I'll say. Big time. All right, what else did he say in this fucking letter? I mean, the big headline, for me at least, and no one else covered this but me right now. He said, "And why do they have the right of ownership anyway?" referring to Denmark. "There are no written documents. It's only a boat that landed there hundreds of years ago. But we had boats landing there also." So Trump's really getting philosophical in his autumn years, it seems like. He's like, and what even is a country? Who even has the right to own things? This is more of that Fanon Trump, or what did I call him? Trump Fanon? Yeah. Trump Fanon. Friends Fanon. You know what I'm trying to say. Third worldist Maoist Trump. JD Pondon. You know the one. Another hilarious thing about stealing Greenland is that Sean Hannity, maybe we can let's just play/watch this. God damn it, sign into Instagram, my ass. I don't remember how to do that. Because I don't remember how to log into Facebook. Because fuck you. God damn it. Whatever, it doesn't matter. We don't need to hear this. I'll just explain the dumb thing Sean Hannity said. Yes, Hannity says Trump should give Greenlanders $100,000 apiece in exchange for Greenland, I guess, was the idea. I mean, obviously the funny thing there is that Sean Hannity is advocating for essentially a socialist style redistribution of wealth to some degree. Something he would never advocate giving to American citizens in return for anything else. And who cares? Who fucking cares? I'm just laughing at the fact that this note just says Trump posts AI art as if this is like a new thing. I mean, it's just what happens every day, probably, I'm guessing. But the picture itself was kind of notable in how dumb it is. Trump is walking across the tundra towards the Greenland flag off in the distance, the far distance, and like off to the side of the photo. It's not centered. Trump is walking across the snow, hand in wing with a penguin. The penguin appears to also be like looking up to Trump, like the way like a little kid does, like "I admire you, Daddy," like walking together. And the penguin in its other wing is holding an American flag triumphantly. I think, after analyzing this for a few weeks, he's trying to tell us that he's happy about the idea of taking over Greenland. I don't know. Any opposing theories? I think you're muted.
Oh, I said, no, it's coming. Everyone should be ready.
From Greenland to America, where things are going very well. I mean, this is related to our country. Breaking: 37% of all Argentines or Argentinians, I don't know, Argentines? I don't know about Argentines. Now have no income at all. Another keynote speaker at the Davos thing was Javier Milei, who, according to a summary I read, basically went off about woke culture and why libertarianism is the best, which is interesting considering what I just read to you, that 37% of people in his country don't have any income whatsoever. And a little while ago, Trump threw him a bone, one of those "your country is too big to fail" type bailout things of $40 billion because the libertarian anarcho-capitalist policies are working swimmingly, obviously. That news also broke when Argentine Patagonia. I call it Patagonia.
Yeah.
So Milei also, at the same time he was being given $40 billion in just free money, withheld 43 tons of food that was supposed to go to Gaza, and it's still sitting there rotting. So that's an interesting convergence of events with the sister fucking dog clone sucking chainsaw wielder himself. What else happened? Also, I'll just shout out Caitlin Johnstone, who I mention a lot on the podcast. She has probably one of the best Substacks and best Twitter accounts out there these days. She wrote an article I liked. It's one of those things. It's like, it didn't blow my mind. I didn't really learn anything new necessarily, but it's just like one of those like things, one of those awful truths that you can't think about all the time. Otherwise you'd go insane. But it was just in this article she entitled, "The craziest thing in the world is that we could end poverty, but we don't." You could also replace the word poverty with like starvation, all kinds of other miseries. And then she followed that up a few days or so later with, "In this dystopia, you can vote against wars, but you can, in this dystopia, you can't vote against wars, but you can gamble on when they'll start." Which goes along with a lot of what we've been talking about with the gamblification of everything, including geopolitical strife, which is going on. You can see examples all over of how the invasion of Venezuela was going to go down. Will we steal Greenland, etc.? These are all things you can speculate upon for money. So things are going well. Still, just like before. Now we get to the funny part of the show.
Oh, no.
Minnesota. Ever heard of it? Ever been there? I've been there a few times.
No, I've never been.
I enjoyed my...
I've gone to Idaho, and I assume it's the same. You know, basically the same.
Oh, such California privilege.
You know, it's like I think Minnesota is like Idaho if Idaho was more like liberal, right? But it's like everything else is close to the same.
I would say they're pretty different. Although all I can speak to personally about either state is that I went on like a hiking trip in the Grand Teton Mountains, which are mostly in Wyoming, I guess, but cross over the border into Idaho. I think I set foot in Idaho there. It looked pretty much the same as all the mountains I was walking around in Wyoming too. But no, I mean like those Idaho, Montana, the Dakotas, all that have their very, very distinct vibe in my mind from places more in the middle of the country like Minnesota, Wisconsin, even Illinois. But anyway, perhaps we're just talking about Minnesota in the most abstract way because there's been a lot of awful, crazy, perhaps darkly humorous news coming out of the state lately. And I don't know. I mean, we already started kind of getting into it. I almost feel like, do we even need to really establish what went down in these two murders? Probably not. I think anyone listening knows. I also thought about something this week about how like people are using ICE, and like that's fine as like a placeholder, but like it needs to like also cover DHS and the Customs and Border Patrol, at least those two. They're all of a piece, right? I think basically they all essentially interact with each other. But anyway, what are your thoughts on militarizing the streets of the United States?
Personally, I mean, I hate to be contrarian, but I'm against it, you know? I think that the government, like, I think that, you know, the American government, we're meant to be, like, have freedom and rights and all this stuff. I hate to get pedantic about it, but the Constitution talks about all these things that we're allowed to do and all that. And I'm not trying to be a jerk or whatever, but the idea that, like, an unfettered, quote unquote para-police force is allowed to just kind of run rampant and summarily execute people in the streets feels like it goes against a lot of that stuff. And I would like to, not do that. It just feels like it crosses a weird line for like what we call like the social compact of the American, what do they call it? The American experiment or whatever. So that's like my main thing. I'm not trying to be a dick or, whatever. No, I'm such a lib, but me, like, I think probably like just a random unaccountable group of masked assailants being allowed to like murder people when they see fit doesn't seem like it necessarily goes hand in hand with like, the basic tenets of American freedom. But that's me, it's like like you said, I'm like a West Coast, pampered liberal or whatever. That's how I see it.
I agree wholeheartedly with you, with the exception that all of those things shouldn't happen to someone unless they're doing a political protest.
That's true.
Or if if they are sitting in a car, or if they yell.
Yeah.
Or even if they break a tail light. Can you imagine?
So this was my takeaway from the video, the second video that was like a prequel. I liked that. The the Peretti prequel video that was like, see, they knew that he's a bad guy because he kicked out this tail light. When I saw that video posted by like some right winger that was like, I think actually I responded to the original post, which was like coming from the BBC or whatever. I was like, wait a minute. In the other video, all of you guys on the right wing told me that what ICE did was good and correct and right. The way that they murdered him on the street, like the way that they had him down in the fetal position with his fucking head between his ankles, crushed into the pavement, and then they mag dumped like fucking 10 shots into the back of his head. You said that was good. So, hold on. In the first video, when they had him in the same position after he had kicked out a taillight, why didn't they murder him? If that was good and the right thing to do in the video that happened a week later, why didn't they do it a week before when they had him in the same position? Why are you showing me this video and being like, this proves that he's a bad guy that deserved to get killed? Why didn't they kill him then? Because it's a good thing to do and they should have killed him the first time. Why did they have to do it the second time? It's a good thing, and what he was doing was bad and he deserved to die. Okay, I agree completely. He deserved, especially when I saw that he kicked out that taillight. It's like, yeah, kill that guy right now. And they didn't. And I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked and appalled that ICE was not trained properly, and they had to encounter the guy a second time to do what was necessary, which was to murder him with 12 shots to the back of the head. Like, why didn't they do it the first time? And I think that's the scariest part to me, is the idea that these ICE officers are not trained properly, because they had the chance a week before, and they let him go with just broken ribs. And he came back, and he could have caused even more mayhem the second time. Luckily, it seems like the second time that they encountered him, there was no, grievous property damage. Thankfully. Because, it could have been way worse. He could have probably kicked out, like, a headlight. Can you imagine? That'd be even worse.
That is a genuinely good point, and I am going to petition the Pierced Organ Show to get you on as a guest to make this point for all to see.
It's out of control.
And I know, as much as I've also even made this point before, but like, I really kind of like, I have kind of like an instinctive, almost rejection of this idea of like pointing out hypocrisy is pointless. It's not. It can be like a good rhetorical move to, if not to get your sort of opponent to melt down and agree, oh my God, yes, you were right all along. You can still convince maybe some viewer who's more on the edge or something, like someone who can see obviously like they've got nothing to stand on. And that's what this whole obviously tragic situation is revealing the most to me, is just that like they truly have no excuses. And it almost operates in that same way we were talking about earlier of like the art of the deal. Start off with like a crazy, insane, insulting like opening bid, right? So the crazy, insane, insulting opening bid is like Alex Preddy was a terrorist, so full of terror. He's literally giving birth out of his ass to more terrorists. And then when that's easily disproven, it moved down to the slightly more reasonable assertion, which is like, well, he may not have been giving actual birth to actual miniature terrorists out of his ass, but he was still a terrorist, right? I mean, look at what he upvoted on Reddit or whatever. That's how it goes with all of these things.
Listen, why does a normal red-blooded American male, what is he doing that's not terroristic with over 4.5 inches of cock, right? Like, they pat him down. When they're like kinetically getting involved with him, they can tell. They're like, okay, this man has over 4.5 inches of penis. The only true answer for a reason why a man would need that is to do some kind of terrorists. He's doing some kind of terrorist with that extra cock, because you only need 4 3/4 inches to satisfy a woman, and by satisfy I mean get her pregnant. That's the only necessary use. So clearly that's what all of the ICE agents, they instantly saw that. They interacted with him and they saw this is what's going on here. So we have to put him down because he's got like a bomb or a hidden weapon inside of there. He's maybe some kind of like tactical nuke inside of his pants. That's what's actually happening here. Because it's just incredible. But yeah, again, I'm just like, I'm at a loss for words with like every piece of it. Like every piece of all of this continues to be just like the problem is that the base, the MAGA base, they can't really keep up with how schizophrenic like Donald Trump is. So they just like all over the place, like good, bad, this, that, whatever, all over. They're flipping flopping all the time because they can't, they don't know when Trump responded to like people talking about the Peretti thing, and he was like, well, you just can't have guns. You can't just be walking around with a gun. And like, it's just like, his base is just like, there's like, that's kind of our whole thing, man. Like, that's kind of our thing, is that we walk around with guns. Like, what do you mean? So they just have to like completely recant their entire worldview within seconds to be like, yeah, Yeah, you can't just be walking around with a gun. Of course not. That would be crazy.
But it's all like partial measures, right? They're not. That's what's so maddening about it, right? They're not fully rejecting their worldview. I mean, I know what you're saying, like in that one instance. But then if you say, "Oh, so you're against the Second Amendment," of course they're not going to say, "Yeah," because they still want to like exist within this stupid fucking like limbo state. You know, it's the Alex Jones state of being right in the exact middle, having both sides of your brain ripped in half. But
well, no, of course, yeah. It's this idea that's like, no. What he meant, they have to like dance around it and make it make sense for themselves. No, what he meant was like, in this kind of case where it's like, you know, you're out there and you're a legal observer or whatever, blah blah blah. Like, oh, it's a different thing. And he was like, not. He was in a situation where he wasn't licensed to have a gun anymore because he had signed up to be like a legal protester, blah blah blah. So it's not the same. That's what Trump really meant. He was like, in that context, he wasn't supposed to have a gun on him because he was doing a different thing, which like a different kind of freedom, where you're not allowed to have a gun anymore because it's like you're a different kind of freedom. But you know, but for me, when I'm just like walking down to the Walmart to get like, you know, 15 pounds of beef jerky, I'm allowed to have a gun because it's a different kind of freedom. And that's the thing that they have to do.
well, when I go to the Capitol with all my friends, there's where I'm allowed to have a gun. Where I'm most allowed to have a gun is when I'm taking a big old dump on Nancy Pelosi's desk. No, I mean, like, yeah, all this stuff is very hard to keep up with, of course. And like, I mean, kind of the huge theme in my mind of, I guess, all of this stuff, today's episode maybe, is just the Steve Bannon doctrine of flooding the zone. Because this week or last couple weeks maybe, I guess, has somehow felt like even more extreme flooding the zone than usual. I know we've been like saying that all this last year, I guess, like there's too much to keep up with, but I don't know. It just keeps expanding. And maybe if it's not more stuff, it's like the specific instances are more consequential. It's not just Trump making empty threats. It's people getting 10 bullets in their back for absolutely zero reason. Jesus Christ. Our gal, Megyn Kelly, she's kind of out. I felt like she outdid herself. She outdid herself sort of since that last crazed thing she said about the fishing boats being blown up. And how, you know, she wanted Trump and Hegseth to make them suffer as they try to tread water. I'm not even gonna play it. I mean, this was also kind of a well circulated clip, but basically she just said, "I know I'm supposed to feel sorry for this Alex Preddy guy, but I don't." Okay. She turned into Bill Maher a little bit there, but and speaking of Bill Maher, I just heard this morning. Bill Maher tweeted or said or whatever, expressed something to the effect of like he would agree that Trump would deserve the Nobel Peace Prize if he takes out Venezuela, Iran, and I don't know, some other country he hates. But I mean, this is the same guy who
I would never waste pot on watching a movie.
He would never. Megyn Kelly did two awful things that I'm aware of this week. No, I got three here, actually. So, yeah, the first thing was essentially to say, fuck this guy because, and she couldn't think of a reason. She got really mad about this church protest thing that happened before that, even, I believe. That happened in between the big publicized murders by ICE. Which is also where Don Lemon or Don Lemon, if you're nasty, or I don't know which. I don't know who to believe. I keep hearing mostly people say Lemon.
I think you're the one who Don Lemon.
Yeah, you were the one who told me I was saying it wrong.
I'm sorry, a bitch trying to be whimsical. okay, whatever.
No, I like it.
Yeah, me too.
I'm going to keep saying Don Lemon.
Don Lemon.
Which something else just happened to him today as well. But I mean, I don't really give a shit about Don Lemon anyway. I mean, I guess he's on the right side of history for the moment, for this split second. But he was literally just like filming the protest, and I think the idea was they arrested him after the fact, trying to say he's like supporting terrorism or some insane shit.
Sure.
I don't know where that's at. But Megyn Kelly's outrage about it was just so funny. Like, in a church? It's like, yeah, you can go into a church, protest. I think what happened with that whole thing too is like the people left when they were asked to leave. But whatever. Again, this is all even I have to remind myself when I'm like retelling what these people said is like, oh, right. And then after they said all that, what was implied is therefore the like murder was okay. It's like you even forget that that's what this is all about, because it's obviously heavily implied, but it's rarely like explicitly stated, I guess. So far. We'll see. I'm sure Megyn Kelly will be. I mean, she literally did say she wanted those two guys who we knew nothing about to just be vaporized as they're thrashing around in the water trying to survive after already being blown up. But her and the littlest kid of all media, Tim Pool, they both brought up this stupid idea that, again, they didn't begin the sentence with, and the murder is justified because, but it was more like this. And get this. Someone, somewhere, they don't even mention like who did this, by the way. Like a single photoshopped picture of Alex Preddy emerged somewhere online that supposedly made him look a little bit more attractive. And like they just state that. They state that fact. And then leave it hanging out there for you to fill in the blank of, oh, well, then I guess he deserved to die.
Yeah. So they're trying to do horny on my man, so that means that he's bad? I don't know.
It's like he did. Well, can you imagine how justified of a murder it would be if Alex Preddy himself did photoshops of himself trying to make himself look hot? Jesus.
Yeah.
And then also Megyn Kelly. I will say I picked up on this one from watching our man R.M. Brown. So you probably saw this too in the same place. But yeah. Megyn Kelly just went on this side tangent about Natalie Portman.
That's pretty good.
I mean, you can explain what happened if you want. I mean, I'm sure we have similar opinions.
I mean, what is there really to say about our girl Megs being like weirdly obsessed with like Natalie Portman feels like a, I guess she's still relevant, but she feels like a celebrity from like, 10 years ago when Megyn Kelly was, I guess that's the crazy thing is it's like, it feels like Megyn Kelly is more relevant now than she's ever been, but she's still kind of like trapped in like the 2010s. Or some, I don't even know, but like you get what I mean. Like,
it's just, it's a different media venture. You know, she's doing YouTubes instead of.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like
now dying.
She's getting like huge views, and she's like way popular now. She's like, influential and all this stuff, but still, like, I guess it's just part of getting older. But yeah, she's like. What was even like Natalie Portman's, like, she was just like, it was like really fucking libbed out, like bog standard, like kind of response to everything from Natalie Portman.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's exactly it. She literally just said, I don't like that these people are being murdered in the streets, these Gestapo tactics, really like pretty tame compared to, I don't know, anyone maybe further left of her, but.
And yeah, Megyn Kelly
it was just
flew off the fucking handle to be like, this fucking cunt, she thinks, she thinks she's hot shit just because whatever, fuck her, I hope she dies. She had purple hair in a movie once, so obviously, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck what is going on? Especially because it's like, oh, she has an Israeli passport, so how dare she even say anything bad about stuff now? And that, like, that's the part of it that really gives away the game, right? Where it's like, I've talked about it a bunch, where it's like, what's happening in Minnesota is like what's happened in Israel, in Palestine, because it's like, this shit is not even connected, but to just be like, oh, she's fucking Jewish and she has an Israeli passport, so how dare she say something bad about what's happening here? And it's like, how is that shit related? I guess because you see it as the same thing, you know?
Did she bring that up in that? I don't remember.
She mentioned it.
That's funny.
Yeah, but it was like, it was not like a major focus, but it is like, yeah, she mentioned like, oh, she's Israeli, and so she should support, basically just like, she should support Trump because Trump supports Israel, right? So it's like, that was like kind of the very light like connection.
But then shouldn't Megyn Kelly reject all of MAGA and Trump himself?
Right, exactly. But yeah,
I mean, yeah. Well, yeah, because what her little dance, like so many of these people, is again the like getting pulled apart in two opposite directions, trying to figure it out, trying to maintain. I've said this a million times, but it is just so funny to watch these people do this, including our main man, Tim, who I've got some choice drops from today. Yeah. I was going to play them organically.
But
maybe I'll just play.
I mean, it's organic if we're just talking about it, right?
That's also true. All right, so this is the idea of like Tim in the past has talked about freedom and fighting tyranny and fighting against fascism, but he may be evolving a little bit on certain things, including the whole concept of licking boots or any footwear. But this is what he had to say about some of that.
First of all, when these people come out and go, Tim's a bootlicker for defending us, I'm like, no, you misunderstand. It's my boots. It's mine. I voted for them. I'm wearing the boot. I'm stomping on the ground. I ain't licking anybody.
I don't know what my favorite part is in there. There's like 4. It's like,
sure.
I think it's the I'm stomping on the ground part that gets me the most, actually. Because he is the littlest kid of all media.
Because that's the one that stands out to me the most. But I might have, like, I don't know if it's like a deeper, like, issue with it than just like, I'm stomping on the ground. I'm a little baby. Because my issue with it is that, like, when someone calls you a bootlicker and they talk about being, you know, a boot, like, because I saw, you know, I listened to Sam Cedar on the Majority Report, and he like talked about it, and he's like saying basically like, Tim misses the point, because when people call you a bootlicker, it's not like they misunderstand the idea that you support fascists, right? Because that's like kind of Tim's counterpoint here. It's like, oh, he call you a bootlicker, and you're like, no, I like the boots, and I like that they stomp around. They're my boots, and I like that they're stomping. And he's like, no, that's when people say you're a bootlicker, they're not like implying that you don't support fascists. Like, that's the idea, is that you lick the boots because you support the fascism that they're doing. Which I agree with that point, but the next step point that I feel like, I don't know if like it just gets missed, or maybe it's just me, but like the baby, the littlest baby of all media, Tim Pool there, saying like, they're my boots. I wear the boots, and when I do it, I'm not licking the boots because they're my boots, and I wear the boots, and I stomp around on the ground. I feel like the natural implication of the idea of a bootlicker is not that the boots stomp around on the ground, it's that the boots stomp on people.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the thing that's like, he's trying to like lightly cover up the idea, is that like, when people talk about licking boots, the idea is that the boot is stomping on your head, and as it stomps on you, you lick it. You respect and you love it that it's stomping on you, so you lick the boot as it's stomping on you. And the idea that like no, I'm wearing the boots. My big boots that I'm wearing we're stomping around on the ground and we're just getting crazy. And that's where he's like a little baby. He's a little baby man who thinks about the baby boots that he wears and he stomps around. Oh, I'm making a big old noise and I'm stomping everywhere because I'm just a baby. No, it's like the idea is that the boots are stomping on people that they're, implication is that you're murdering them with the stomps. They're dead bodies that you're stomping across. And that's the idea. Like, that's the part that I think is getting overlooked because he's babyfying it and being like, I'm stomping all around because I'm upset and I'm being mad and I'm tough. It's like, no. The idea is that the boots are killing people. It's not like that they're stomping around and being aggressive. You're murdering people in the streets. And that's where it's just like, what the fuck? This guy, again, he's a child. Everyone knows he's got a baby's mind. He's got a child's mind with the hairline of a fucking, a geriatric. And we hate him. We hate him so much. And I hope that he dies. It's not... This is the thing. Like, they try to get all on you when you say stuff like this. I'm not saying I want to kill him. I'm saying that I just hope that he dies. I'm not going to do it. I just dream of a world where he passes away from something. And if it was, if I had my druthers, if I was allowed to
There's no timeline.
It would be something painful and excruciating. But, again, I don't want to cause it. I'm not going to fantasize about what it's going to be. But if I could pick, it would just be like, it would be painful, it would be bad, and he would die at the end. That's what I would, be my choice. But I'm not
doing it. Yeah. I'm just choosing the manner in which.
I'm not doing it, and I won't even fantasize. I won't even deign to, give you a concept of what it should be. But if there was a box that I could check, Tim Pool dies, definitely double check that one. Yes, want him to die. And if there was a second thing, it's like, and it's painful and bad, checking that one too. Painful and bad. I want it to be painful. I want it to be bad for him. That's, I check him off. Okay, cool. Pass the paperwork along to the next guy. He handles the dirty work. I'm just out here saying, yes, I want him to die. Yes, I want it to be bad. But, getting into the details, not my thing.
Yes, but, counterpoint.
Look at my penis. Spare me! You are Buchanan, bro.
No, god damn it, he got me. I am Buchanan.
Actually, I'll come back to that in a second. I just want to finish something with the Natalie Portman business because some of the funny shit, maybe the reason I didn't even notice the mention of Israel is because I was laughing so hard about her just screaming at the at Natalie Portman. Who's not in the studio, by the way, to defend herself.
Very unfair.
Bad form, Megan.
If we're talking about journalistic integrity, she should have at least reached out for her to give her side of the story, right?
Right, and if she didn't give it, she should not run the story, like Barrio Ari has taught us, is the way to do journalism.
That's true. Yeah.
But she was going on about how Natalie Portman is just this rich bitch, Hollywood bitch who probably has assistants who do everything for her, and she sounded so. Megyn Kelly sounded so as evil as she is. She can usually be kind of whatever that professional composure. But she was you could tell she was really having an emotion during that part. The rest of it you could tell is all ginned up. Bullshit, manufactured acting, whatever, a lot of it. But she was actually feeling human feelings when thinking about how mad it makes her that she's not a beloved actress or whatever. So I thought that part was kind of funny. And then you get to the end of it and I'm like, wait, what was all that for? Oh, right. We're talking about the guy who got shot in the back 10 times. And she's on this It's not. I was going to say side quest about Natalie Portman, but it's not. Like in her mind, this is all she's tying together the most airtight argument of all time. Anyway, I think it's enough of Megan and maybe even a little more on Tim. But basically, like, I mean, the reaction to all this horror has been pretty wild.
Can I ask you a question? And this is just like completely off topic. And I kind of understand it because of just like kind of how it's set up. But why does Megyn Kelly sit? Like, why are in her videos, why is she sitting? You know?
What do you mean?
Because I just feel like you could like. So for me at my work, like when I work, I like have a standing desk and I stand all day at work, right? Like, why is she sitting? Why isn't she standing? It feels like it would make more sense for her vibe and her whole thing. Like I said, I get that. Like, it's just like it's the standard thing. It's what you do. But like the Megyn Kelly vibe, it's odd that she sits.
More like sittered, if you ask me.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. Yeah. Because I feel like she should be standing. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, she also should be
Allegedly sober.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Gotta get the timing figured out.
Have you
Wait.
seen the Megyn Kelly with the Red Scare Girls stuff? Like, it's troubling when it comes to sobriety.
Not enough to notice that, but there was the thing with the Dasha sneaky vape that I showed you, I think, or told you about at least. Yeah, I know they've done whatever interviews with her a few times, right?
Yeah.
I was gonna add in because I don't want any voices to not be centered here. You did mention that Megyn Kelly was kind of like she's got a ton of views, sort of queen of all media, but I immediately thought of someone who would beg to differ and also would say,
Where my unstable girlies at?
That's true.
I'm gonna haunt you. I'm gonna haunt you in your dreams.
Candy, the queen, the true queen of all media, Candy. Because, yeah, these Megyn videos, she's got 4 million subscribers, but you're looking at videos that have like 300K views. That's not, I mean, that's a embarrassing conversion rate. This video, this is 100,000 views on this video right here. Candace would never.
no, and she'd share the wealth. She'd be wondering,
Where my unstable girlies at?
That's right. Yeah, these Candace videos, even the most recent Candace video has 1.2 million views.
Yeah.
That is retarded, and we are all more retarded for having heard it.
Mr. Shapiro. Let's all put our balls in Mr. Feeney's ass and move on to whatever is next, which is basically what? This is the problem with all these notes. We are. Jesus. We haven't even begun to talk about Officer Lockjaw, but the thing about Lockjaw, Bovino, as they call him,
right,
is I only discovered who this guy was very recently. I think along with most people. I don't know, but he's fucking boring as far as I can tell. Maybe I'm missing a bunch of stuff, but I thought there was going to be way more nasty tweets, or at least stupid, crazy, weird, exceptionally bad things about him coming out. But I mean, aside from the obvious, which is that he's a Nazi, I just meant stuff that would be fun to talk about on the podcast. But it seems like the most embarrassing thing I've heard of is his use of emojis and his replying to people on social media in like a cringy boomer Gen X kind of way or something. So, and I would say, all right, fuck him, who cares, good riddance, but it's not even really good riddance. He's just being swapped out of Minnesota for an equally evil person. And it bothers me that there are like Democrats who are saying this is a good thing, and that actually Homan is he's a bit more reasonable to work with, I think. It's just absurd. And Lockjaw isn't losing his job. He has not been fired. Like, a lot of the headlines are like rejoicing, like, we did it, Minnesota wins. And like, as much as it's great what people have been doing there, like the general strike for one day, you know, awesome, but also just a start, obviously. But my point is that things are still bad there, and that there's a lot of premature celebrating. I mean, I think people should be like praised for what they've done so far, but like, I got the sense that a lot of people are following it or spreading a narrative of like, our troubles are over in Minnesota, kind of. But
sure,
yeah, it's not the case at all. The video of Alex Preddy kicking the ICE SUV. The first time I saw it, people on the right side of history were saying that it was AI.
Yeah.
And
it does have a weird like sheen to it that I thought was possible.
Some people were speculating that it was like stabilized with AI, which makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But also people react to, oh, it must be AI because the fascists are celebrating it as if it's this one clip vindicates the whole thing.
Right.
You know, dust off your hands, case closed, let's all go home. But that just made me despair even more about the future of extremely realistic looking AI videos. But in like an opposite way, where like now everyone is actually just skeptical of real stuff as like, this must be AI. I don't know. It all just filled me with a bit more new shades of dread coming in, because you combine that technology with this flood the zone insanity that the Trump administration is. It's like the one thing they are actually still capable of doing and are like competent at, because it doesn't take much skill. You just like do a bunch of awful shit all at the same time and release a bunch of stuff to the press all at the same time. But yes, Trump had various interesting ways of trying to like deal with the aftermath of Alex Preddy, which it's so fucked up that like Renee Good is already seems like so far in the rear view, even though all is just happening right now. But well, and beyond that, like dozens of people have died in ICE custody. A lot of them seem extremely suspicious, as if some sort of foul play was going on, but including like a lynching in a cell. What do you think about this idea of him being purposely like hunted down? Does that strike you as convincing? It doesn't really strike me as very convincing in a way, but I don't really know where I stand on it, because I guess I could see it either way.
I think he was targeted. I think it was intentional. Yeah. I think
he does kind of stand out in a crowd as well, which made me think it gives some credence to that.
I think
just,
that,
I guess, his height or whatever.
I think that the way that he was disarmed on the in the actual murder video, like I talked about with the video from the week prior, where they clearly didn't know what they were dealing with, versus the video like a week later where he was murdered in the street. They clearly had some idea, because I couldn't imagine a guy, an ICE agent especially, like disarming him the way that he did. It was so clean. And then it was like the moment that he was disarmed, then they started fucking pumping him full of fucking lead. It's like it seemed very orchestrated and very intentional when you like compare the two interactions, right? So that's the part that makes it like so obvious to me. Was it orchestrated? Like, did they like set it up for him to do it? Maybe not, but it was orchestrated in the sense that like they knew what they were looking for and they were prepared for him, you know?
Yeah, I could also see it as like there was no conscious intent to hunt him down, but then as soon as they recognized him, they were like they targeted him like there on the scene. Because I think, well, anyway, and the other thing is it doesn't change anything really if that's the case. I mean, it does in terms of like legality, but I don't know in terms of like the morality of the whole thing. The end result is still the same for basically the same motivations. Trump, at least twice that I saw, using his excellent bedside manner, keeping it classy. Did you see this? I'm still like shocked somehow. I mean, we go through this every week. Like, what is actually shocking? To what degree? But him saying that Renee Good's parents were big fans of Trump.
Yeah,
big fan. Like to me,
hopefully,
to me that was worse than the Rob Reiner thing in my mind. You know,
sure.
Like worse, just in the sense of like heartlessness, not in necessarily offensiveness. I don't know, but like. Just what the fuck are you talking about, man? You're standing there at a podium in front of the press. They're asking you about this like tragic murder. I mean, I guess what it is, obviously, maybe, is that he can't come up with an excuse. So he just, it's just a diversion, I guess. But it's like, what kind of diversion is this? The people my private police killed, their parents are big fans of me. And actually, I'll just call myself Trump in the third person because that's the weird kind of shit I do. And then there was Kyle Rittenhouse got brought up a lot with good reason over the last week, which defenders of Rittenhouse, the Chud side of things, are like would maybe call like a whataboutism, which it isn't at all. I mean, just on every level, the hypocrisy is like, I don't know, staggering. It's like Trump says the words, I don't know, you shouldn't bring a gun. You shouldn't just have a gun at a protest. Cut to a clip of him like jacking off Kyle Rittenhouse with one hand and like handing him an award with the other. Handing him a gun. Just handing him a golden gun with the other hand. I mean, and not just Rittenhouse, all the people that were essentially praised, if not merely like defended on the right, your George Zimmermans, and so on. And this whole idea coming from the pathetic, cowardly, do nothing, but actually they're doing everything. They're doing their job exactly.
That's true.
Which is to try to maintain the status quo, Overton window shifting to the right, all of that. Cory Booker gave some stupid goddamn, I don't know, selfie video of himself trying to sound tough as fuck, but he's just like, and they are gonna have 3 more weeks of training, god damn it. Like this whole idea of like the problem is these people aren't trained well enough, which is like, the thing is, it's like, I guess that's also technically true because apparently there was this thing where they cut the training down by, I forget how much, by like several weeks at least, maybe more, to 45 or 47 days.
Oh no.
I wonder why they chose those numbers. Could have nothing to do with appeasing the Mad King. Yeah, but then all the usual suspects were saying it. Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer. They're literally voting. Maybe they've already done it. I can't even remember. There's too much shit to keep up with. I have a job. But they're voting to increase ICE funding, which was already like Well, I mean, it was above zero, so that's egregious. But it was even more egregious than slightly above zero before. It's like the single highest funded law enforcement group in the country. Law enforcement group. If you raise your voice, I'll erase your voice. I know you must have seen
God.
that.
That was fucking gnarly, man.
And there were a bunch of things like that, like little clips, little interactions with people in the streets where these ICE fucks are just like really casually telling people like slightly speak louder than
what we deem fit.
Yeah. We will eliminate you.
We're gonna kill you.
Not just arrest you. We will end your life.
We will murder you in the street.
Then the one cop, this got a lot of, I don't know, viral play, or the one ICE shit. Someone was filming the ICE car or whatever, the license plate or whatever. They were filming ICE, which is their legal right, etc. And ICE took down their license plate. They were asked why, and they said they tried to do their best, like sarcastic, little shitty comments, like, well, now you're in a little database and you're considered a domestic terrorist. So all these fun things are happening. Also, Tim Walz is being kind of a pussy, and so is the mayor of Minneapolis.
Sure. I can't blame them, though.
I also can't fully blame them either. I'm more mad at the situation, but also I get kind of mad at them when they play a little tough, but then they like collapse immediately. Like, what's his name? Frey, the mayor of Minneapolis. Even I was like, oh, cool. He used foul language to tell ICE to fuck off or whatever. But then I saw the rest of what he had to say, and I was like, oh, okay, you're giving a performance. But anyway, there could be worse people in charge, I suppose. I think just like the way this thing has been dealt with and then like reversed upon is just really something to behold. Like, it kind of started off as like, well, like I already said, like everyone goes super aggressive, including the president of the country is like terrorist, obviously a terrorist. But then the way Trump was distancing himself after Alex Preddy, which that's another thing too, is like people are saying like it was so clear that it was murder in Renee Good's case, but this gets even clearer in his. And I don't even really like that way of talking about it because they're both, to me, like equally clear. But anyway, what was I saying? Jesus. I completely forgot where I was going, man. I guess we should just wrap it up.
Yeah.
We've gone long. I guess I wonder at this point, will Donald Trump take the rest of the world with him into oblivion? And I wonder, it's like, life is already so fucking hard and tragic. Even if it goes like as probably like as well as it could go, there's still something ultimately kind of sad and tragic about being a human being. Like living with knowing you're going to die and all that, watching everyone you know die and so on, and life is hard and all that. What does it all mean? It's like in that context, like in the words of Rodney King, can we all just fucking figure it out and organize society in a way that we know works? Probably not. Probably not.
Right.
So we'll let all the oceans of suffering throughout all of biological evolution on this planet be for nothing. General recommendations, anyone?
I will give one based on my Twitter name that you ceremoniously did not look up. I watched the Paul Thomas Anderson film One Battle After Another.
Nice.
And I will say that movie fucking rocks. I would definitely say watch it. It's great. It's great. It's great in every way. Everything about it is phenomenal. It's such a sick movie from beginning to end. It's so cool. I love it. I love it a ton. And I definitely think everyone should watch it. It's definitely the best movie of 2025. I don't think there's really an argument. It's so sick. That's my general recommendation. One battle after another. Sorry, folks. It's good. There's nothing else I can say about it.
You must have just seen it then.
Right. I just saw it last week.
Yeah, I fucking loved that one too. I believe I recommended it on the show at some point.
Yeah, 2 years ago or whenever it came out. Yeah.
I think that was part of the disappointment with the tiny bit I did of looking into this fucking Bovino.
Right.
Because I could obviously see the comparison to Lockjaw, at least in like the picture or whatever. And the first picture I saw was him looking really short, walking alongside all the other ICE Gestapo agents. And my first thought was that though it's obscured, there is indeed a handgun hanging out the back of this man's ass as he walks along with the rest of them. But no handgun, anal fisting, as far as we know yet. Although that wouldn't even be really fun to talk about, because I'm not going to kink shame here on this podcast. Unless your kink is pedophilia. That's the heat death guarantee. Mm-hmm. Which also I should not call pedophilia kink. That's wrong.
Yeah, it's normal. It's not a kink at all. It's just a normal thing.
It's the default.
Yeah.
Default zone. Flood the default zone. I would like to recommend an article called ICE versus Everyone by someone named Aaron West. This is on the same website as another article I recommended about people going to that ICE job fair. Yeah, both are in N+1 magazine, online literary magazine, which I thought was all fiction stuff, but apparently they've done at least 2 articles that are not fiction and that are about ICE. So check that out.
Nice.
And I would also like to recommend an album, an old album. And whenever I remember just how old this album is, it makes me feel old too. Interpol. Remember the band Interpol?
Sure.
The turn of the millennia. Their first record, I re-listened to the other day. I don't know why, but it holds up. It's very good. And the song NYC in particular just about made me cry in public the other day. So think about that while you're listening to it and holding back a pack of wild sobs on the subway. Also, there's a very fun Korean cooking competition show on Netflix, I believe on all iterations of Netflix with English subtitles, called Culinary Class Wars, which is not... It's fun to watch and compare to like the typical format of a lot of these kind of cooking shows, US, whatever, Western culture style cooking shows, reality shows in general. It's very different. It's much more, I mean, like, it's not without charm or humor. It has those two, but it's a bit more like serious in terms of cooking. And there's less like kind of bullshit, like let's like get people to, I don't know, talk shit about each other. They're actually like almost comically supportive of one another within the competition framework. But there's 2 seasons. Second season just came out and just ended, so you can have a bingey old time with that if you like that kind of thing. And it gives you kind of a look into Korean culture in some ways, I would say, as well. That might be worth your time. And Black Moth Super Rainbow, the band, is very good. I've recommended them before, but I just found like this collection of outtakes and sketches from the full album Panic Blooms, which is called Seefu Lilac, SEEFU space Lilac. And I I listened to that yesterday, and it was very good. It was very good background, working, reading, writing style music. And that's it. Only the 4 things I just recommended in a row and nothing else. What you're going to want to do is go to the episode description. You're going to want to click on the link to our Discord server where we talk and post and do all kinds of fun stuff beside that. But not really. Talking and communicating with words and pictures. That's what we do there. And you'll want to do things like rate the podcast, review the podcast, subscribe to the podcast. We appreciate that when you do it. And you'll also want to check out another podcast, a whole other podcast.
It's been a minute.
That Tim has.
It's been a minute since we've done it, but it will be coming soon. Probably before this. Before you hear this in the past, there'll be a future episode of the other podcast. It's on Violent People Radio. People call it Q&T-R, but that's not. Anyway, doesn't matter. It's a wrestling podcast. It's on the internet. Check it out.
Oh, well, and as I usually say, as I always say, actually, we must
go back to the club,
look at my penis,
and say,
I like my suitcase.
good night, good luck, good morning.
I'm gonna pull you in close, gonna wrap you up tight, gonna play with the braids that you came here with tonight. I'm gonna hold your face and toast the snow that fell. Because friends don't waste wine when there's words to sell. Feel like love is in the kitchen with a culinary eye. I think he's making something special and I'm smart enough to try. You don't trust yourself for at least 1 minute each day. Well, you should trust in this girl, 'cause love is
1860. It was a 10-second fragment of the French folk song Au clair de la lune recorded by inventor Edward Leon Scott de Martinville. But who will make the final voice recording and when? What will it be? Who will hear it?